Right, now we have audio. Hello, everybody. As you can see, I'm on my own. I don't know what's happened to David. I know work's been grim at the minute, and it could be that. Or, knowing David, he could have just fallen asleep. I'm so knackered. Just in case anybody's wondering, I am ill. That's why I'm wearing a blanket and a hoodie and a jumper, and I'm freezing. Even with the coal fire fucking burning its heart out. So I'm not sure how far I'll get, but I will soldier on. So hello to all you guys in the chat. Hello Tim, hello Darren, hello Crispin. Good to see all of you. Let's crack on with the agenda. So for those of you who haven't been here before, what we'll do over the next indeterminate amount of time, depending on how my illness goes, we will talk about some bits and pieces. So the first thing that we'll do is have a look at what I'm going to be trying to paint while we're working, and then I'll have a quick chat about what I got up to at Gaming Club on Monday, because I explored a new game. And then there's a couple of news articles that I wanted to flag up before we get stuck into our main topic, which is about the thorny issue of money. In the current financial climate, luxuries like hobby are going to start getting to be even more of a luxury. You can do, Tim, if you jump into mine. Let me just switch to go to live stream. And then I'll see if I can set that up. So, what am I going to be doing tonight? Okay, so I'm going to be working on my Armada. I got for Christmas, those of you who've been watching for a while, I got the Salamander's starter fleet. So that's 3 ships. Put them together earlier this week. Got them primed, got them base coated. And I'm going to be putting some base primed. Got them painted in chocolate brown because it's a good foundation colour for the scheme I'm doing. I'm essentially riffing off. Is that a better way of putting it? Riffing off what? Hello.
Oh, I can't hear shit for some reason.
Just bear with me a second, Sundancer. Right. Let me see if we can sort out the audio. Let's see if we can get. So the output device wants to be that. So now I can hear Tim. And then we need to change the main scene.
Oh dear, can't hear you. Can't see you.
You can't hear me or see me, Tim. Just bear with me a second. Right, you're up on screen.
Now right, you lot can hear me. I can't see. I hear boss, but it's probably on my side.
No, it's almost certainly mine. Voice and video. So the input device. Okay. Can you hear me now, Tim? No, I'm guessing not. Sugar.
I think I need to give this a reboot.
Do what you can, mate.
On the old Discord. So, hold on a sec.
Right. While Tim wrestles with Discord, let's get back to it. So that's what I'm going to be working on. As I said, I'm essentially planning to rip off the box art, so it's sort of like a reddish brown hull.
I see that your mic is moving, but I can't hear anything.
Right, okay. So the signal's not getting through to you.
How did we do it last time?
Pass.
Oh,
Settings. Voice and video. I've got the right input and output. I honestly do not know, Tim.
So for some odd reason...
Unless I disconnect and reconnect. Just let me try that.
I'm not...
Has that made any difference?
Focus on my side.
No, it hasn't made any difference. God
I'm
damn
not
it.
getting any audio anywhere.
Right. Let's put Tim full screen. So... Right. So unless I disconnect and reconnect, just let me try that.
I'm not.
Right. So Tim can hear me, I'm assuming you guys can hear Tim, because the Discord audio is pinging away.
The
yeah
combination of headset and camera on my end.
If you hear Chris, if you hear Darren, yeah, that's gone horribly wrong. That's genius. Okay. Oh, right. So, what did I do at club on Monday?
Got him.
He's found it. Are you with us, Tim?
Now my audio should be better for you.
London calling Nighthawk.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me, Nighthawk? We can hear you, Tim.
Bloody hell.
So.
I can hear you as well now.
Hurrah!
So, that's
right.
better.
So, hello, Tim. Thank you for jumping in the hot seat, sir. What do you got planned for tonight? Are you going to be doing any hobby?
I'm actually doing Tiny Fighty Little Men.
Oh, you still on your bot war?
Yes.
Excellent. How many more have you got to paint? Is it like one of these epic projects that goes on forever?
Are closing in on being finished, and then there's 5 more of those who were totally not constructor bots.
Okay. So that's not bad then, if you've only got 5 models yet left.
Wow. Depends on how much time I take. So, audience, forgive me for not looking into the screen, but I am using my fancy stuff here to see what I'm actually painting.
Yeah, that's cool. That's fine, mate. Don't worry about it. Because we're here to do hobby more than anything. Now then, let me have a look here. I don't want to share that. I want to share that. Here we go. So this is what I did on Monday. So I dipped my toe into Moonstone. Have you played it, Tim?
Nope.
Okay. I did enjoy it. We played with the 2-player starter minis. So 4 goblins and 4 Commonwealth. I feel like I grasped everything except the combat cards. That is a massive head swim. I think I'm going to probably have to play several games before I grasp the strategy and tactics of what cards to play in combat and how best to leverage an advantage. Because I think it's one of them scenarios you need to be able to guess what your opponent will play. Now, when you're doing an arcane card play, it's simply probability assessment, because you know what cards are in your hand, you know how many cards your opponent's got, and you just sort of like, if I bid this, the chances that I'm lying are X, so the opponent will be taking a massive risk unless he's holding all of those cards. So that's easy. The combat thing is way more interactive. because obviously the card you play then pings off what your opponent plays, and then it can be upgraded or changed by special abilities, and then there's possible counters and that as well. And when you don't know what any of the miniatures do, I found that trying to second guess what my opponent was going to play was extremely difficult. I don't know if that's just me being
not
thick,
knowing what your opponent's units can do is hard guesswork in any game.
Yeah, and for some games, I don't think it's an issue, is it, Tim? I mean, things like bolt action, for example. I suppose it's handy to know how powerful a tank's guns are, how much armor punch it's got. But generally, you just need to know, are they veteran, normal, or inexperienced troops? Regular or inexperienced troops. And it tells you everything you need to know. Whereas this is a lot more involved, I think. So, yeah. So that's... as I say, we played first game. It was David Wilson showed me it. It's his set. It was his sort of first proper game. He had studied the rules. I played the Goblins. He played the Commonwealth. The river, on hindsight, the river in the middle of the table was a bit of an error because it massively impacted the flow of the game. Because with the river terrain.
Evening.
Hello, mate.
Who's calling in?
It's David. Voice only. Voice from the past. Voice from the darkness.
Aren't working.
So
Voices from the great beyond.
He won't be able to hear us because we're in a completely different chat. Just bear with me a second.
He's in live stream.
Let's go to Discord. Oh no! Oh, I've killed me slideshow. What have I done? Unprofessional.
You
right.
fucked
up. Reading proper. Oh no, he is in this. Okay.
Yeah.
So that is.
Why don't you listen to me, Paul? Listen to me.
Sorry, Tim.
Listen, Paul.
Look, I'm ill. That's my excuse.
Yeah, that explains almost everything.
So yeah. I really enjoyed Moonstone. I managed to win, and I'm not sure how. I don't want to take a massive amount of credit. I think it was a bit of luck.
It was his first game as well, I guess. A huge portion of luck involved.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely. Can you actually hear us, David?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, sir.
Fucking hell, finally.
So
sorry about that. Sorry, late.
What's happened? What happened? Did you fall asleep?
I had a nap.
Yes, I knew it.
Then woke up at fucking 10 to 8 and then have been fighting my PC and the internet ever since. So I need to unplug and replug in the Ethernet.
Okay. Yeah, well, next time...
Basically, you fell asleep again and just need some excuse now.
Yeah. Next time, don't log on at 10 to 8. Tip.
Well, next time... Don't have a fucking nap pre-stream. How about that?
Yeah.
That would be the better one.
Yeah, that's also good. So what are you up to? Tim's painting his bots.
Hang on.
See if
what? Let me just go to Video Ninja.
I am gonna
and then
get myself set up with some paint. Jesus.
Back. Turn off the audio. Let's go.
Sweat's running down my forehead, and I still feel cold. That's not normal, is it, chap?
No, probably not.
Fever.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Have you checked for fever?
To be fair, yeah, I don't need to, Tim. I know that I'm running a fever. It's painfully obvious to me. And I'm guessing it's...
It's bad, then.
Yeah, it's viral.
You got the old Rona.
I wouldn't have thought so. I mean, it came on at sort of like... just this morning, and I was on my own last night at work, pretty much from 9 o'clock. So I didn't interact with hardly anyone.
Live for the people at home.
Right, sir. Yes, it is. David's tabletop.
So, tonight we will mainly be painting Armada miniatures.
Yay!
Who'd have thunk it?
Not Assassin's Creed.
No, not Assassin's Creed. Not at the moment, Tim. Unfortunately, not at the moment. I've got bigger fish to fry, namely some salamander ass to kick on Monday at club.
Fried fish.
It'll not happen. Fucking dwarves.
Angry dwarves will be coming. For all of you that know how much of a klutz I am, yes, these are not MDF bases. These are 3D printed braces. Because I lost my MDF bases, so I had to reprint some last night in FDM.
What the hell?
Don't come for me, internet.
Why would you do that and lose your bases?
Tim, you've seen my paint organisation. Let's not start now.
Mate, the adjective paint was utterly irrelevant there. Your fucking organisation is 0.
Tonight we will mainly be painting Armada.
Have you got a scheme in mind? Lots of metals?
Lots of metals.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know whether to go with red as a detail colour or purple.
Poppy? Oh, red. I would go red. Purple doesn't seem very dwarfy.
But purple's very royal.
That
also,
is
it's
true.
very rare and people will not expect it.
That is true. Well, no, people will see
because
purple and
nobody
assume...
expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Oh, that's literally where I was going with that, Tim.
People will see it and assume you're playing Twilight Kin. Let's be honest.
Well, no, because they look nothing like fucking Twilight Kin unless you're blind, short-sighted, and visually challenged.
Oh, says the one who confuses Starscream for Optimus Prime.
No.
Yes.
Because
yes,
we had a discussion about this on Monday night after club, actually, and I'm not the only one who thinks you're painting Optimus Prime.
2 blind people don't make one person
3
see.
blind people.
That's even worse. Get your eyes checked.
To be fair, it's the underpants that made it. Optimus Prime has different coloured underpants. Anyone can see that.
I don't give a flying fuck. He's got
also
blue
has
hands,
much
fucking
bigger
red
legs
chest,
that are much
and
more
we're
blue.
finished with my desk cam now, Paul.
Okay, mate. Let's go back.
Oh. What have you been up to this week, then, Tim? So you wandered into chat late?
Nothing special, just work and doing hobby stream. And I was left on my own device this week because Jerry had to clear his desk prior to his holiday. Or his time off, I think is the correct wording. And I had a huge fun reading English curse words.
Is that what your stream's about? Huge.
Now, the stream was basically 3 questions or things I wanted to talk about. And somewhere at the last third of the stream, I had the urge to get out that sheet of curse words I found online and read them aloud to people. I made a video about it today. It's on YouTube if you want to.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, we'll have to go have a look. I will.
I must confess, I always think of you Germans with Viz. Do you know the comic Viz?
Can't say I do.
Okay, so Viz is an adult-themed comic. Really offensive.
Not blue adult-themed comic.
No, it's just lots of swearing and drinking and sex and sort of like essentially totally inappropriate cartoon strips with characters like who've you got? Topless skateboarding nun and what's that guy with his monkey spunk moped? But they had some characters that compounded swear words. So like Posty used to basically stitch swear words together. So it'd be like a bugger fuck twat. And I always think that's a very German thing to do, isn't it? You compound words all the time in your.
It's very convenient way of explaining with less words what you mean.
Yes, you don't have to add a whole raft of new words to your lexicon.
Well, the efficiency is somehow diminished by the complexity of how long the words get.
Yeah, it's German. Let's be brutally honest.
Well, I don't know
though. Can't be.
Are you now insulting my language, lad?
I mean, to be fair,
laddie?
Tim,
I'm not insulting
you can always
language.
dismantle the words and work out what they mean. The problem with English is we come up with loads of weird bespoke terms, and if you don't know it, you don't know it. You've got no chance.
Again, it's like red, and red.
That's why I really like the list of curse words with nice wordings like twat waffle.
Yeah.
Thunder cunt.
Yeah. Viz do a comedy dictionary of swearing in their publications. You can pick it up for cheap on eBay. It's called the Profanosaurus. Obviously a play on the thesaurus. It's just basically a list of offensive words, but it is quite a good toilet book. Just read
but how
a couple of pages.
Do these books go out of date? How fast is language evolving, and what was once a very bad word is now just common language?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about proper linguistics, though, not comedy, fucking extreme.
Yeah, it's like the difference between English and American, isn't it? Where cunt is very, very offensive in American, but English tend to use it as a greeting for one another. To
be fair, like Kevin Bloody Wilson said, you can't say cunt in Canada. Fucking hell, you can in Australia.
It's true, though, isn't it? Like, the Aussies and the British have a very blasé attitude towards greeting people and profanity.
Yeah.
Everywhere else in the world.
If you're in most of the northern German parts, if you're really friends with somebody, you have the same level of insult on sight and knowing it's friendly fire.
Oh, that's cool. That's interesting. Because to be fair, I would say there's some regional things to it. Like, it's quite a big thing here, isn't it, David? In Lincolnshire, we're quite a profane.
The word for a bread roll is a very divisive subject, and it tells you quite commonly how northern or southern you are as to how you refer to it.
Right.
A loaf of bread?
No, like a bat
croissant?
That you put the burger in, like that kind of
bun
bread. Yeah,
what the Americans tell you.
Yeah.
There's no end of ways to refer to that in the English language, and as I say, it's divisive as hell.
What we call a Brötchen, a small bread.
I mean,
you see?
Yeah, German efficiency.
Jesus Christ!
It's small bread,
mate. We got so much to learn.
This is one of the wording examples where you can actually explain how that works, because we have the core word Brot, meaning bread, which is more or less obvious, and then you have the last syllables CHEN pronounced Chen, which is a demeaning term meaning a small little piece of something.
The only word that I remember from my school German was Mädchen for girl, isn't it?
See? Yeah, and so the Maid is the maid, the grown woman, and the Mädchen is the small woman, the girl.
See? It all makes perfect sense.
Bread bun in Newcastle. We also have slotties, which are a large flat bread roll.
Yeah,
I mean...
Yeah, slotties.
Stop talking about food, otherwise I need to get myself something to eat, and then everything will be horrible.
To be fair, my missus cooked fantastic tea, and I just didn't want to eat any of it. Felt real bad, but
I had a crack.
I'm not sure you should eat tea, but drink it.
Oh, give over.
God! Here we go. Here's another British thing.
Look, we're north of Watford. It's breakfast. Lunch,
however, triggered today, Paul. This is kind of a news article. It not at all relating to gaming.
Okay, I won't bother looking for it then.
I saw an article that said about Skegness.
Oh dear.
And the fact just hang on.
Skegness.
About Skegness and it being sort of linked with Skeg Vegas, and the fact that the raceway signs put in for like Welcome to Skeg Vegas, and the article referred to it as a quintessentially northern seaside town. I'm sorry, I live in the Midlands of Britain, and it is in the Midlands. It is neither north nor south. How can it be a quintessentially northern seaside town?
To be fair, I think they're probably going for the feel, mate.
Yeah, but there's nicer northern seaside towns. Whitby.
Yeah, Whitby's
Bamborough,
not bad.
Sea houses, all up in Darren's neck of the woods. Breakfast, dinner, and tea, but I sometimes have dinner for tea.
Scarborough's the poor cousin up there, isn't it?
Yeah, Scarborough's a bit of a shithole. Right.
Same Scarborough as from the song from Simon and Garfunkel.
What?
Almost certainly. Scarborough Fair. Yep, that is a place.
I'm confused.
A northern seaside town.
And on tonight's pub quiz.
To be fair, it's a beautiful setting in a great bay. But the town itself is down at heel. Is that the phrase? It's not good.
You try to be down with the kids, Paul.
Hello, fellow kids.
Yeah, right. Because I'll pull that off. A 50-odd-year-old man.
Yeah,
right.
This is more my point, boy.
Jesus Christ. News! Right.
Okay.
Everything's getting expensive.
No,
that's the main topic.
Okay.
Come on. Web browser.
You tell him.
Cancel. I don't want that. I want the properties
Let's
of
just
the web
spray
browser.
my activator on all of my things, and hopefully that will go off. Ow, my fingers. That's a bit cold.
What? Why won't Firefox?
I'm just going to go for a rummage in my paint storage system. I shall mute myself.
I was just going to say, are you sorting your paints again?
Yes. Jesus. Cancel. Okay. I am going to shut this down.
Are you struggling to news, sir?
Well, for some reason, Firefox is not shown as running, so I can't share it. Cue juddery audio as we relaunch Firefox. I did as you suggested, Tim, and put ad block on to see if that makes a difference.
Speed up the page building up process. It's data.
Hopefully it'll help.
Also, it makes most more readable.
I agree. I mean, Jesus, some of them would just go completely over the top with the ads, and I get it.
Especially if you have sites from print magazines that they are just beyond readable without any description.
Yeah, it becomes very hard to even tell what the goddamn content is, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I'm very happy that for most German publications, there's a law in place that clearly states you need to really set it front and center if something is an advert.
Right.
So hiding a ad piece within an article is usually very easily spottable.
Right.
So you don't even need to read it because it's an ad.
Right. First things first. The industry awards on Tabletop. I'm sure you guys have seen it. Really good video. I don't know the background. Why did they decide to sort of like keep it in house and have the staff pick the winners? Was it just lack of chance to organise a poll, or was it by design, Tim? Do you have the inside track?
I don't know why they choose it to do it this way, but I'm guessing it's because A, it makes it easier, and B, it's otherwise it would be some sort of community award.
Yeah, I guess. But whatever.
And to be fair, I would have lost track about 80% of what they have shown and nominated.
Yeah, that's the thing. Doing it this way, nothing could slip through the net because they could trawl everything they've posted and make sure things get shown. My favourite category was the terrain products. There's some amazing terrain products. A couple of which I'd missed.
Gonna buy?
Actually, first time around. So yeah, definitely worth a watch. Have you watched it yet, David?
No, I've been too busy napping.
Too busy now. Well, it didn't go up today, mate.
Out for almost a week.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's as feeble excuses go, that's pretty feeble.
Look, go away. Leave me alone. I'm doing painting.
It's way too much fun to poke you with a stick.
Right. This is the next one.
You pulled up them Soul Shackle videos?
No, I haven't. Yeah, I agree, Darren. 5 Leagues was definitely a worthy competitor in there. Great game. I'm going to look to explore it. To be fair, you can chip in later with the main topic, because I would have thought that 5 Leagues is a great candidate, but we'll get there. So I like my Call of Cthulhu, as anybody who's been here before knows. I didn't realise Chaosium, who make the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game, actually do playthroughs on their website, or YouTube channel rather. And I came across this, and it's pretty bloody good. Bookshops of Arkham is the adventure. It's in 3 or 4 episodes, so it's not a beast. One of them, unfortunately, they lost the video. So it's a recap narration by the keeper to fill in what happened, but it just goes to show that everybody gets technical problems. Made me feel a hell of a lot better. So yeah, I would recommend it. Some great, again, the people who playing the game are quite competent actors. Great characterization there. The keeper does a fantastic job. The props are fantastic. They have actors coming in to do the NPCs in key moments, which is a really nice touch. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this. So Chaosium's YouTube channel, and it's Bookshops of Arkham is the story.
Yeah, watching other people play RPGs isn't really my kind of entertainment. I know there are some people really enjoying that stuff. I can't get behind why, but that's
fair, Tim. I mean, I'll be honest, pretty much Call of Cthulhu is the only one I will watch. Or Delta Green.
But the format itself, it's just... I get why I would watch someone play a board game or a tabletop game, because it's almost always more or less the same if you replay it. But a role-playing game with a dynamic group like actual role-playing is something completely different.
You could never repeat that playthrough.
Yeah, and even can't speak today. I not even would want to try and attempt to replicate such events, but have my own experiences. And why would I spoil the adventure for myself?
I get it. It's not a problem for me because I'm not likely to be doing any role playing anytime soon. There just is not enough time in my gaming diary to fit role playing in. Sadly, it's one of the things I've had to be realistic about. Let's have a look. What else?
That one a minute.
So this one is to do with the game we played. So this is the King's War Armada faction guide. David found this.
Oh, the Scarhan one that I found from Scarhan's painting.
David found this and shared it in our Discord group. And to be fair, it's quite a well-written article.
and taught us that we were playing Armada
wrong.
Does it actually say you're playing Armada wrong?
Well, no, but as I was reading it, I would message David direct message I think we're playing it wrong, mate. Look in the rulebook.
Are we the baddies?
Turns out we can't read.
Yeah,
we've been cheating the system.
To be fair, though, it's not a great rulebook.
No, it isn't.
I think Mantic could do better. For some reason that I don't fathom, they have boxed out quite crucial rules in separate from the main rules, so that
for example,
you can easily miss them.
Tests being rolled on a D6, not a D10, when the rest of the game is a D10.
Maybe they made ChatGPT make the rules.
That's a possibility.
I at least realised that this week. And then it was, again, another box about, unless you are a veteran, you can only target the closest boat. If you are a veteran, you must make a skill test, and then if you pass your skill test, you can shoot a boat that is not the closest.
But if you're not veteran, you can't even do that.
But it's in a tiny little box, not even in the section. It's next door to the section.
And it is definitely
what is
not
an eligible target.
It is definitely not in the targeting rules.
No,
exactly. It reminds me somehow of the early works of the rules from Star Wars Legion.
Was it similar? Glaring
but
things missed out.
The problem with the rise of keywords, and you have to go back and forth on what's what, and
even
the addition of new keywords that weren't in the core rulebook.
Just the fact that it's completely just it's a main part of their rules on targeting, but we're not going to put it in the section on picking eligible targets. We're going to put it next door to the section on picking eligible targets in this really weird box format.
Yeah, I must confess that is really counterintuitive, because they've even got bullet points. Check range, check line of sight.
Yeah, that's the worst thing if you have a cheat sheet at the end of the rulebook and there are some core things missing.
Yeah, and that is the case with this, because I immediately went to the player aid that's free on Mantic's website, and it nowhere mentions this detail. So that you could completely do targeting wrong, if that was your reference.
Yeah.
Which, duh. But
also, Crispin, very nice rebuttal to the role-playing game. If the others won't acknowledge that, I've seen that.
Yeah, what's that?
We'll play with the wife all the time.
Oh my god!
Can't take Crispin anywhere. Can't take him anywhere.
Jesus!
And why should you? He has got his own wife and country.
Jesus! Right. What else we got in news? What did you say to me a minute ago, mate?
Pre-orders, Soul Shackle.
Yeah.
See our video last week in relation to pre-orders and FOMO and bullshit. But Paul is a bit...
I'm a bit annoyed, in one way, because Soul Shackle came up for pre-order Saturday just gone, and I was at work in the morning. So I kept checking the website, and it was not that, basically the pre-orders page at 7 a.m. when I was in work was still all of the corn shit, World Eaters, and I kept refreshing, and obviously I'm at work, so I can't sit and fucking click refresh.
Every 30 seconds.
And I went away to serve some customers, do the job I'm being paid to do, come back. It's gone. Sold out.
Yeah. Uncle Adam was annoyed about that on Twitter prior to his video. And he said it was, okay, I got the email that this thing is now live. I clicked the link in the email and it's sold out.
Yeah.
WTF.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Uncle Atom made it the subject of his Sunday show. Sort of. They did talk a lot about Games Workshop's.
And now, shall I be a very hurtful person and tell you something?
Go on. It's still available in Germany.
Yes, exactly. At least at the day when everybody was complaining that the UK and US shop had been sold out, I looked and there's stock in German.
Yeah, I did actually think about buying it because I mean the miniatures are all the same. It's just all the paperwork, which I can lift off Wikipedia or whatever. But yeah, fucking hell. So, answers on a postcard here. What the fuck is going on with Games Workshop? I don't understand this at all.
Transition to the main topic? Or?
Not really, but as I say, you know, what the absolute fuck. Next. This is a couple of things featuring the same guy, Dave from MS Paints.
He was on Peachy, wasn't he, this week?
He was.
Oh, that video was so good, I nearly wet myself.
I haven't seen it yet, but it's on my radar of shit to watch this weekend.
Do yourself a favor. If you have the time, really watch it actively.
Definitely.
Don't let it run in the background. Get yourself something to drink and just enjoy the carnage. It's so funny. The video starts with the subtext. We stopped censoring swear words at around the 25-minute mark. We couldn't be asked anymore.
Yeah. I tell you what, Darren, I agree with you. The thing is, it's like, now that I have missed out on a Kill Team product, I've really lost my enthusiasm to keep up with it. And I wanted those arbitraries. I mean, I know they'll probably come out in 3 months when the next big box releases. But this sort of... if I'm working on that Saturday, which I work every Saturday morning, what the fuck am I supposed to do? You know, I don't...
Even if you were not working on a Saturday morning, if that thing is so quickly sold out, there's either short supply on purpose.
Yeah, it should have been still available, for example, lunchtime, when you would have been able to look at it. You know what I mean? It shouldn't have gone in the space of fucking 20 minutes or whatever it happened to be.
And to be fair, the question needs to be asked, what's the fuck is going on? So the Warcry's not sold out. So you've got two big box games going on pre-order the same week. How do you get your production predictions so wrong? What the fuck? Are you telling me Games Workshop haven't been doing this for very long?
Yeah, but maybe it's on purpose. Just think about it.
Yeah.
If they know they can sell X amount, even if there's X plus Y demand, if they go for a surefire way of getting rid of every stock so that they don't have to keep stock, they can calculate their winnings. They don't care about long-term engagement. They want to make short-term gains.
To be fair, though, all it does is feed scalpers.
Yes,
you know,
but that's no concern to Games Workshop because they have sold
scalpers
the product.
Scalpers have already bought the products and put their money in the GW coffers.
I just don't get it.
Games Workshop doesn't care where the money comes from as long as there's money in the bank that's paying for the product they're selling.
Yeah, but they're leaving money on the table. People will pay 400 quid on eBay to get it.
Yeah, but
I don't get it.
Only because it is sold out and a rarity, and FOMO is driving the hype train back and forth to hell.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So if it hadn't sold out,
imagine
people would postpone buying it.
Would you buy from a scalper?
Sorry?
If stock was available at a Games Workshop, would you buy from a scalper?
Absolutely not. And again, that's another thing I don't get. Because if GW, they're not short of a few quid. If they overproduced by a couple of thousand units, it's no great shakes. And they could carry, they're a big enough company, they can carry that for inventory for a little while. And all you've got to do is have 6 months worth of products when nothing ever goes in short supply. Scalping disappears overnight. Because these people aren't going to just buy, people aren't going to do this unless they make their money.
But this way, how they're doing it now, everybody is talking about it.
True.
And that's free advertising.
Yeah. Was it the saying, no such thing as bad news? All
Similar
news is good
that,
news.
Yeah.
Fucking load of shit.
It's a short-term method of making more money Even if on long term, people are now saying, "Well, fuck it, I'm not buying anymore."
Yeah. But we'll come back to give them another good fucking kicking later. So we've talked a bit about the appearance of Dave on Peachy's chat show, which was great. And then Dave put his own video out on MS Paints this week, I think it was, or it might have been end of last week.
It was this week.
And he's talking about battle systems, cardboard terrain, which is something David and I have spoken about.
Repeatedly.
And he's, saying he's very much changed his position on it. He was a bit snobby about it, but now having built some, I think reading between the lines, I think it was driven very much by his Patreons. He didn't get the stuff for free. He had to go and buy it. And I think it basically, from what he said in the video, a couple of his patrons had said, you should cover this stuff because it's actually good. So that was really cool.
Bless you.
So yeah, that's it. That's it.
A key team is like the minis, and then we've great for 5 by Essex or Stargrove. Not going to pre-order though. I'll wait until I spot them in my local shop. Yeah, I mean it's true. I mean I pre-ordered Warcry this weekend, but we all knew that was on the cards on the horizon. Let's be brutally honest. But it's
Darren says he's got a lot of that battle system stuff. I've got the original Kickstarter fantasy dungeon one, but they've come on a long way since then.
Some of the stuff we saw at fucking what was it called?
Hell.
Games Expo. Jesus fucking H Christ.
The design features on it and the detailing on it. Oh, it's just amazing.
The only thing that puts me a bit off are the plastic connectors. There must be a way to make them look more palatable.
The only thing that puts me off as well is the fact of getting the Sharpie and edging it all.
That is true.
Yeah, there's that.
That is a lot of work.
That is soul destroying. That will kill a man.
But
particularly hazard striping on a railing set.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you do that once, and it's probably still quicker to build that set that he had in his video
than paint
even if you use a marker to blacken out all the white things and as in building that stuff on your own.
Definitely, Tim.
Yeah.
I mean the connectors, Tim. You can always just paint them, spray paint them brown or a neutral color that fits better.
Stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah. They do. They are difficult to hide rather.
I think it's terrain perfectly for shops and venues that make demo games or even tournaments.
Or even somebody that's low on storage space.
Yeah.
Only if you deconstruct those things every time if you put them away, because a building is a building, no matter what material it's made from.
Yeah, to be fair though, their stuff does deconstruct very well. I've got the entire dungeon Kickstarter in like a 40-litre tote, and it's got tons of shit in there.
I don't think I could be asked to deconstruct these things time and time again.
Yeah.
No.
But that's just me.
Again,
that's fair.
It depends on what you've got hobby space wise as
well.
Yeah,
I mean, Dave said in his video he just chucked the whole stuff intact into a tote. Basically just tossed them in. He didn't treat them with respect, and he said they're pretty resilient. They looked, they didn't have tons of breakages and stuff. So it's a good video anyway. I think I'm going to buy some of that stuff. More of that stuff this year, because I need these low.
Again, it's like your Acid House Kickstarter.
I need low time solutions, and I get what Tim's saying. Paper terrain is not the best looking; it's flat. But Jesus Christ, it's zero effort.
And the counterpoint is put some nice 3D scatter on it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that these are actually ugly or unsightable. It's just the connectors are a bit annoying to my eye.
Yeah.
And Papercraft itself can be very good looking, but it's very rectangular.
Yeah. To be fair, that's something they're good at, making slightly irregular shapes.
Yeah, especially the way they did the roofing, having a curved look and not being a bloody triangle.
Yeah, and they're trying to notch and detail every straight edge possible to break it up. These touches that have come in the new generation of terrain are amazing. I'm done, mate. Anything else? Any news that you want us to flag, Tim? As you hear?
I don't think I've got anything.
The only news item I covered on Tuesday, and that you maybe have heard, Vera Klocker from Freebooters Miniatures making a new game.
Freebooters?
Freebooters Fate.
Yes.
The pirate game.
Yeah.
Yeah, he makes a new game, and it's basically Freebooters Fate in space.
Okay. I have heard...
There's not much info going out, but it looks like it's going to be something like Stargrave X Space Station Zero or something.
Just trying to bring up an article about it.
It isn't much on articles. They made one video, and the announcement came from a live stream. So, good luck finding anything.
Well, you've got a video here on your post. Is that Ascending Fate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one. Just play the audio to get content right.
Nah, it's fine, mate. It's on mute.
Just saying, I had a nice letter in the box.
That looks pretty good.
This video can't be monetized. Well,
yeah, like boo-hoo. Okay, that's interesting. So, what is it like a skirmish game?
Yeah, a bit of a role-playing vibe to it. So
campaigny, then.
They didn't really give much of details on the stream as well. This weekend is Tactica in Hamburg, and you can book appointments for a secret room to have a private demo.
Blimey.
Right, before we go to main topic, have we got time to go down to my minicam?
Yes, mate. Just let me finish painting this.
Because God bless Mantic and Details.
Video Ninja David. Ching. There you go, mate. You're on.
Shop and use my scalpel as a pointing tool. What the hell am I doing with all these stone panels on the side of the ship? Am I painting them stone or what?
Well, you're going to have to. They're going to look weird metallic.
And then the second point is, what metallics do I throw at this? Because this is blackened barrel from Foundry, so it's quite it's darker than gunmetal.
Okay.
Quite nice. Obviously, can dry brush and highlight the silver. I'm going to pick out the roof in red and down here in red. What colour for the stones?
I would just paint them a mid-grey and then slap Null Oil on it and let it self-shade. I mean, they're so fucking small, mate. You don't need to do anything else. I wouldn't even bother dry brushing them.
Then the next question is, what metallics do I throw at this thing?
I would only go with one other metallic. Your choice. Brass, bronze, gold, copper.
Copper's a bit orangey.
Copper would go well with the red roof thing in the red palette.
I second the vote for copper.
I'm going to have to go rummaging for copper now.
But I wouldn't, do some bits brass, some bits gold, some bits copper, because it'll start to look very quickly overdone. I reckon.
It's dwarves, though. It's meant to be ostentatious.
Yeah, but it's not going to resolve, mate. The miniatures are too small. Would be my pushback.
Also, don't forget, if that's stone on the side, do some green moss and lichen.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. Weathering with inks or glazes is way more important than a highlighting on that miniature.
Give the illusion of sea barnacles.
Yeah. Well, again, particularly because it is a sea-bearing vehicle.
Let me empty my shit out.
Oh, God. So, what's the time? 5:02.
Nearly main topic.
You make a fundraiser so that Dave can get a painting rack.
No, because I need them transportable, Tim.
Yeah, that's true.
There's things that are transportable painting racks, my young friend.
Yeah, but really useful box, absolutely run full of paints, is really useful.
Jesus.
And really noisy.
Fuck's sake.
I'm sorry.
To be fair, you've got all of the equipment. All you need to do is spend some time putting the bottles in some sort of ordered system, either numerically or grouped by colour.
Chaotic is not an acceptable form of system.
Yeah. Chaos is the antithesis of systemization.
You put your teeth back in.
Yeah.
You just wait when it's your turn on the dentist to remove a row of teeth.
So
fun.
There we go. There's copper and there's reds.
Let's talk about the last piece of news that we haven't mentioned. Games Workshop's price hikes.
Oh, that the other piece.
Oh yeah, because that feeds into topic.
It does, right? So Games Workshop.
Done with my mini cam boy.
Done on it.
Yeah, done on it.
Right. So Games Workshop came in with a. Oh Christ! I didn't want to start that.
What are you doing?
Just bear with me a second. Just need to stop this.
Yeah, Games Workshop announced we are going to raise prices.
And the thing is, they even did that in a cunt way. Because it's like, oh, there's an average of 6% across our products, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, technically, that might be true.
Move, but let me be devil's advocate here for a sec. How much is inflation in the UK?
Oh, yeah, fine. It's running at 10.
Actually, a number, please.
I think it's running at 10, something like that.
See, so anybody complaining that Games Workshop is raising prices, everything means everything is getting more expensive.
To be fair,
our hobby of tiny fighting men.
That's why the topic, Tim, because you are dead right. Games Workshop may be the first, and they may be the biggest to announce these rises.
And they may have made it the most stupid way possible.
Yeah, but you're right.
I mean, is still a valid business decision, and if you don't like it, don't buy it.
David and I did a bit of web browsing, and it's true. Like Final Fantasy games, board games have gone up, even at the heavily discounted retailers online. Everything's creeping up. It's just that obviously a lot of companies don't announce it with fanfare. The thing that pissed me off about the way Games Workshop do it is the way that they do everything, right? The actual way to announce what they've done is to say some of our products will be going up by as much as 22%, but this will not affect our entire range of products by any means. And then you can go into detail about it doesn't affect paper products, it doesn't affect this, it doesn't affect that. But to mask that 22% price hike on some of the fucking Necromunda shit, they come out with a store. It's like they can't stop spinning.
Yeah, I get the angry part on the way they did it. But
yeah, like,
most people
just be transparent. Just say again, even if you don't want to say.
And again, you can construct the news article anyhow you like. You can emphasise the products that haven't increased, or put them at the end, so they're the last thing people remember reading. But don't come up with some bullshit about, an average of 6%. Nothing's gone up by 6%. It's either gone up by nothing or like 15 to 22. It's like bollocks.
Yeah. And I totally get, and I think that's a valid point to be angry about. But people obviously just talking about Games Workshop's raising prices.
Yeah,
everybody's doing that.
Yeah, I mean,
Again, just be transparent and list it. Don't say like, "Oh, this is affected by this." What? Just list it, break it down. What's affected and why?
Yeah, to be fair,
the easiest way and the most transparent way they could have done it was by constructing an Excel sheet and just dumping it.
Yeah, exactly.
And here's all our current SKUs.
Yeah.
This is what we are selling, and this is what they're going to be sold for as of
X date.
This fixed date.
I mean, and I can totally see they wouldn't necessarily want to tell us why. I mean, just putting it under increasing global costs of doing business, that's fine. Some of this must be sensitive business information. I'm fine with them not telling me exactly why my Necromundle goggles are costing 20% more, but just tell us. Just be honest, for fuck's sake. Anyway. So the TLDR version is that there's no avoiding this. We're in a global recession. All of the Western nations certainly are affected by it. These products that we buy, these games and miniature models and all this stuff, are luxury products. And we need to face the reality that everything is going to get more expensive from here on out.
This is one of the rare occasions where there's actually a better word for all this in English than in German.
Yep.
Because you have your disposable income to use for your hobby. And if you don't have disposable income, you have no hobby.
Yes. And, facing the reality...
It's a first world problem.
Facing the reality that we can't avoid this. I think it's a good idea for all of us to start thinking about what can we do to mitigate. So I'll go first. One of the consequences of the global recession is going to be there are going to be an increasing number of people who've got difficult personal circumstances that might lead them to get rid of things. So the second-hand markets could be seeing an upsurge of product available. And obviously with that, prices may come down. So my advice to anyone in the hobby, particularly over the next 12 or 24 months, is don't sleep on the secondary market and the changes in it. And it's an awful thing, and we don't wish it on anyone. But if a guy loses his job, and he's got a wife, 2 kids and a mortgage, suddenly 2,000 or 3,000 plastic toy soldiers don't look as high a priority. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
What about you, David? Do you have one?
I think just for me, like you've already said, secondary market, look for those deals again, or looking through dealers, distributors for money off on your GW if you want to buy new. But really consider your choices and what you're going to get out of it. Is it worth, for example, me and Warcry? Yeah. Is it worth me buying Warcry? Yes, it is, because it's a game I want to get into and get stuff done with. Well, let's do it and have a plan for it for me as part of the hobby kind of thing. Let's not just indulgently spend money on something that's going to sit on my desk for... Right.
Consider your purchases, whether they're secondary market or main market. Give a bit more thought. Try to resist impulse purchasing and FOMO.
Yeah.
And again, be careful, people. FOMO sales techniques are something that companies are going to be leaning on a lot more. I know Games Workshop are notorious for it, but be expected to see limited edition promo models from companies who don't normally indulge in this sort of shit, because when your business is struggling, it's a good way to generate sales. What about you, Tim? Do you have any sort of hot tips or any thoughts on what a person can do to mitigate the the impact of the recession on their hobby?
I think that the only thing you can really do is, as you said, restrain yourself from making impulse buys.
Yeah.
Set yourself if you still have any disposable income of any description, even if it's just a few pounds a month, put them aside. Don't go around shopping. Let them accumulate, and then remember how you did it as a kid when you only had a small allowance and there was one box you could buy over the span of a year or something.
Yeah.
Go by that mantra, and then of course try making deals with other people.
I mean, we've started to do this, David, haven't we? We've even talked about products that we might want to buy, and we've both said this. Well, you've said to me, keep your powder dry, wait for UKGE. Don't pull the trigger on anything. Stay calm, stay controlled.
Do it at that point.
I like Darren's suggestion. Less supplements and be creative. Make your own scenarios.
Yeah, that's a cool idea.
And painting the backlog collection. I mean, let me go next with another one, mate. Because feeding into what Darren said, right? One of the ones that I would say in our Discord group, as a chap named Dan, and he's been at home ill, and he just made a complete throwaway comment because he was bored. If you could only play 3 games over the next year, what 3 games would they be? And immediately I started thinking about, well, it makes sense. I want to choose 3 games that I can get months of enjoyment out of replaying.
Yeah.
And this is relevant to this scenario because given the fact that we're all skint and prices are going up, like Darren has said, look at what you already have and ask yourself, have you maximized the benefit from it? Have you mined it for
within an inch
the content that product stroke game, whatever, can give you?
If you even played all the games and systems you have in your shelf.
Yeah. That, I mean, also fair. I am sure that we can. I doubt that there's a person here who doesn't own a gaming product that they have never got to table. I know I have several. That I'm never
answering that question.
I've never even played in cold blood, and not just not played much. I mean, I've never played these fucking games. So I think it's probably a common problem. Do you have anything else, David, or anything to add?
Just on that front, if there is something you like the look of, and your friend, for example, is getting a 2-player starter set for something, about splitting the costs, going even, about working with what you've got in front of you and making a commitment. If, for example, me and you, Drowned Earth.
Yep.
Game we both love, game we've both played a little bit of, a game we both have 2 factions for. And both of us committing to say, right, well, this is the year. Rather than go out and get new shit, we're going to both tie each other down to getting Drowned Earth to the table in a representable state and doing as much as we can on the terrain front, for example, on the cheap to make the game playable and work.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
A hobby sabbatical and get all things done that are sitting on your shelves.
Yeah.
The other thing I would say is it fits with like Games Workshop, who we've been lambasting. If you only have, I don't know, £100 a quarter to indulge yourself with on your hobby, whatever, pick an amount. If you only have X amount of pounds to indulge yourself with your hobby and things are getting tighter, just think about this. Games Workshop probably doesn't need your help to weather this financial storm. But there's a lot of indie publishers, guys working at home out of their garage with a couple of friends that are whacking out these very small miniature ranges, maybe custom rule systems that are print on demand or online. They would love your money. And they could probably do with it, because a global downturn is going to affect them. I'm not saying it won't affect GW. Its stock price will probably get hammered. But should we care?
People who get affected are shareholders who already make insane amounts of money.
Yeah, and even if they do get hammered, their stock price will recover. There are enough assets in that business that even if it gets hostile takeovered by fucking Hasbro or whatever, because it gets in the shit, it's going to be here for the long haul. It's got too many business assets to fail. Okay? Whereas there's a lot of these guys, they probably could fail quite easily.
Yeah, just look at Heresy Andy, who is really struggling to find a new home.
Yeah.
Well, again, drop zone, because the early, or the 08 type of recession sort of killed that game off, and didn't help, like, put it in a bad financial state, and then caused Hawk to eventually go out of business.
Yeah, and then luckily they got acquired and the product was sort of saved, but...
The point stands, though.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's more luck than anything. I think a lot of these small games could just disappear forever. And they'll become, second-hand oddities on eBay.
And to come back to Heresy, Andy, he has been very transparent with how everything is affecting him, because his landlord casually raised his rent by 50%.
And what's this, on a manufacturing unit or a retail space? Or
no, on his home.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah, they went from
God.
800 to
Bless him.
1,200.
Yeah, fuck's sake.
And now he's, if I recall correctly, he's almost certain to have a new home, but...
well, wish him the best.
Yeah.
I mean, I consider ourselves very lucky. We're renting currently, and our contract says that our landlord can increase our rent by 8% per annum. At the last review, our landlord chose not to increase it, and I am so grateful, because, like Tim's just said, I'm sure there's a lot of people that the realities of things are going to start getting a bit, close to home.
Yeah. The weird thing is how some landlords are obviously thinking, because, I need more money, I raise the rent. Not realizing those people who are renting are also needing more money. And if there's nobody having any money to pay your rent, you're not getting anything, Mr. Landlord.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just the nature of the beast, unfortunately, isn't it, when it comes to private property?
Yeah,
and rent.
This could be a hour-long discussion on private property, capitalism, and how the markets work, but I guess this is not here nor there.
Well, to be fair, Tim, there's an element of King Canute and the inevitable tide, isn't it? There's no point us sitting here saying capitalism bad, global recession bad, because it's a reality, and it's not going to go away, isn't it?
It's not.
No. And the other thing is...
Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong, Crispin, but you're not wrong.
What's that?
He's basically just said it's all greed.
Yeah, that's again how the shareholders work. They don't want some of the money, they want all of the money.
Yeah.
Unless it's all of it, we don't give a flying fuck about it.
Yeah. There is no intrinsic... The capitalist business model puts no intrinsic value on ethical behaviour. That's the problem with it, and that's the greatest flaw with it. You cannot have a system where there is literally a disincentive for ethical behaviour. It's a recipe for fucking...
the main problem.
Yeah, it is.
If you're a scrupulous cunt, you can make so much money off of everybody.
Yeah. And the problem with globalization is also a massive factor, because the problem is, because everything is so globalized, even a principal government like a forward-thinking government in a principal country can't even take a stand, because they'll just crush their economy, because business can be moved abroad so easily. This is why it's a worldwide problem.
That is a happy topic.
Yeah. This is why we're not covering this. So, do we have anything else? Any great advice for weathering out the recession? The
first thing is cut your costs. Go and see what things you really do not need in your life. What can you cut down on? This starts with the coffee to go in the morning.
Yeah.
For whatever that costs. Bring your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring.
I mean, where my workplace has just had a Starbucks open up, and I won't be going there. I'll be drinking cheap instant coffee in the staff canteen.
Why would you go to Starbucks anyway? They don't have coffee.
Well, yeah.
The man makes a point.
That is fair.
And I'm pretty serious about that. The stuff that Starbucks sells is anything it's caffeinated something, but it's not coffee.
Yeah, it's piss, being blunt.
And it's marginally overpriced.
Yeah, but to be fair, Tim, there's not a lot in this world that is not marginally overpriced anymore.
Wow. Crispin's put, right now I spend about £100 a month on Tribes and Patreons. So Tribes are like the Patreons for my mini factory, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
See, my Patreon bill is around $35 a month.
Yeah.
Same here.
But the thing is, I mean, Darren says about, obviously, going on from Tim's thing about cutting your costs and stuff. He says about streaming subscriptions and platforms and stuff like that. The thing is, it's like my wife doesn't really have a lot in her life that she spends money on, and she is a real square-eyed television hog. So, although they're a low priority for me, and I could out of hand just stop them. That again, that it's not that simple, is it? Because I've got to consider more than just me.
But the streaming service is a very good example of you can cut your costs down without losing everything. You just go to a different subscription level.
Yeah.
You gotta ask yourself, do you really need the subscription for 3 TVs and full HD, or is one TV and a lower resolution completely enough for watching whatever you're watching on?
True story here, just coming in. We've recently started subscribing to Netflix. I held out on it for ages. I did Amazon because you get loads of benefits like the free computer games, free music, whatever. And we held out on Netflix. Netflix, for those of you who subscribe, know that it's tiered, like Tim said. You get like a standard 720p or whatever fucking subscription, then you get HD, and then you get 4K. And it's like $6.99, $10.99, I think $15 or $16.99.
Yeah, something like that.
And basically, I spoke to my stepson. We used his Netflix account just to see because again, we did our due diligence. We looked at it.
Available
is there anything that we want to watch?
Yeah.
And it turned out there was actually quite a lot. And I went for the cheapest. And you know what? It doesn't matter because my smart TV just upscales the image using inbuilt computed algorithms. Is it flawless? No. If you've got a very low light shot, you do get some graininess and pixelation, and it struggles to resolve what's going on.
Yeah, but that can happen at any point if your internet provider is acting up. So
yeah, but I've saved £5 a month by not automatically going, oh well, I want that, because James said, well, you really want the middle one, and I was like, well, do I? And
does he have children?
James has 2.
Then
2
he needs
boys.
the middle one, because otherwise people will be fighting over who gets to watch.
Oh, okay. So you can have
in the
multiple devices,
you have multiple simultaneous accounts running.
Okay, got you.
And the lowest tier is just one device at a time.
Yeah, that's fine, which doesn't affect us. Having said that, Tim, my wife and I watch it simultaneously on 2 TVs in the house using the same account.
Yeah, but you're not on the cheapest with adverts, are you?
No, not the dirt cheap one with ads. That is like $3.99.
As long as you're within your local internet, it's also
fine. Oh, so as long as it's on the same IP. Got you. Netflix 16 one. I did that for most of last year. To be fair, do you know what? We would use my son's account, but my son, being the kind of generous spirit he is, was already farmed out the password to his in-laws, family, friends. So, like,
Everyone
literally,
else.
There weren't any free profile slots that were being hogged by another family member. And rather than put James under pressure to choose, people to kick off his list, I was like, no, just we'll get it. We can afford it. It's definitely something you'll get the benefit from. And like I say, my wife loves it. But, I mean, even, like Tim was saying, in terms of getting the most for your money, and it's not about it even look at not what you're subscribed to or what you're buying, but, what are you going for the best quality? I suppose one thing might be hobby gear. Do you know what I mean? Is now the time for some of us to try dirt cheap brushes where, and try I don't care if they get knackered because they're literally disposable cheap.
Or the other thing I was about to say, though, depending on that could be a false economy.
Yeah, potentially.
Because you're buying more of them regularly because they're not lasting as long.
I mean, I've tried it. And I literally buy.
I mean, again,
I buy cheap shit. I buy cheap shit from Amazon.
Sables are a good example here, actually.
50 size one for £4.99.
The Rosemary & Co. ones are really good value and cheaper than Winsor Newton and Raphael.
Yeah.
And they're just as good.
Yeah, I've had Rosemary & Co. in the past. They are good brushes.
I mean, fuck me, I even went into my local range and got a size 3 watercolour sable for $3.99 from Winsor & Newton. It's not a Series 7, it's a professional Series 1.
Yeah.
But it's nice, it works, and it's a nice size for me to get big base coats down with a sable brush.
Yeah.
And maybe that's also the time where you stop buying pre-made terrain tufts and mixes and
start making your own.
Yeah.
Put in some work and finding other aspects of the hobby.
Yeah. No, you're right, Tim. I mean, to be honest, I don't really use tufts anyway. I have a big tub of mixed grass length, a mixture of 2, 4, and 6. I put little
The only flaw in this way, how to tackle a economical crisis is if you're already doing that and saving every penny. Yeah, well then you can't get lower.
No, that's true. Yeah, if you've already milked that for its advantages, like you say, you're not going to milk it any harder, are you?
It's like just when the energy crisis started and everybody was, just turn down your heater and do this and do that, and I was, we already are doing that. We are already just heating one room in which we are sitting because it's wasted energy to heat a room where we only sleep. Where do I start saving on that now?
Yeah. I mean, again, the other thing is obviously fuel costs and stuff for running your car so you can get to and from work. That's something, unfortunately, you can't avoid. But it's like I've even noticed, Paul, the difference in price between filling up in Spalding and filling up in Peterborough.
Yeah.
Because Spalding's 146.9 a litre. Peterborough is less than 140.
Yeah.
It soon adds up on a tank of petrol. So it's like I was running out of fuel at the weekend. I ran over to Spalding to put just enough in to get me to Peterborough on Tuesday.
Yeah. And again, you go that way anyway with the little end, don't you? So it's not as if you're spending a dedicated trip. Exactly. You're not making a false economy by burning fuel for a waste of time.
But putting gas in my tank is something I had a shell shock experience when the price rise first came. My little diesel has a 70-litre tank.
Yeah.
So prior to the Ukraine energy crisis thingamajig, it was roughly 80, 90 euros to get the tank full.
Yep.
Now I'm at 120, 130,
Wow.
140.
Fuck. That is a big.
Well, again, it's like my car's only got a little 35-litre tank. I remember the days when I used to fill it up for like just over 30 quid.
Yeah.
And now I'm putting nearly 50 quid in it at the time.
It's the same with my wife's little Corsa. Getting a 50-litre or 45-litre tank. It's ridiculous, it's insane, and it's totally off topic. How did we end here?
Yeah,
Saving
I mean,
money,
to be fair, that's although those expenses are
they're adds not up.
Yeah, they're not really what the advice is free, people. But I'm
We're
sure
not just a hobby show.
I'm sure what you came here for was how you could save money on your hobby. I know about
the other two people here in chat, but I'm a big cunt as well.
Yep, that's right. We are. So yeah, I mean, talking about Dan's only play 3 games thing, that's another one. Is we've mentioned about the increase in the secondary market. Maybe now is the time to look at stuff that you don't want, don't need, will never use. Get rid of it.
Yeah, but at the same time, as we have said before, prices will come down.
They will.
It really worth selling now?
It is something that you're going to have to really be careful of, because you can enter a fire sale mentality, can't you, Tim? Where you're literally giving shit away.
And at some point, everybody is selling their stuff, and you might be better off just keeping it.
Yeah. Particularly if you don't need to sell it. Does anybody have anything cool in the chat? Any brilliant ideas in the chat?
Crispin, play old games.
Yeah. I mean, again, instead of selling that game that you haven't played in 5 years, maybe you should do the opposite and actually ask yourself: is there hidden value in this gem?
Also, just sprang into my mind. If you're craving for miniatures to paint, just look through your game boxes. I bet so many people have a game sitting somewhere with lovely miniatures in them that they intended to paint at some point.
Oh, you mean board games, Tim?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as I'm speaking from personal experience, having a board game with nicely painted miniatures, it's such a lovely experience.
I'll be honest, I would always endeavour to paint board game miniatures.
I'm waiting for an Assassin's Creed's comment.
No,
we're not gonna raise that.
It didn't even occur to me until this very second. Seriously, I hadn't thought about it.
I had.
Yeah, but you're way too nice to him.
Well, to be fair, it's like kicking a puppy, because obviously, mine's.
And also,
mine is getting mine's getting painted. You see.
It's not a fucking cock measuring contest. Jesus fucking Christ. How's your Necromunda force coming along? Oh, fucking wait a minute.
Shut up.
Right then, don't fucking start.
Porn. What are you talking about?
Oh, dear. Fucking Necromunda. So, yeah. Like I say, the one thing that's a given fact, we're not avoiding it, people.
Make the decisions that need to be made.
Be conscious of your spending habits.
Yeah.
Maybe as long as you have disposable income, start taking notes on what you're spending your money on, so you can see where it's actually going. Because spending 5 quid here, 10 there, can add up.
No, definitely.
Pretty quickly.
I mean, to be fair though, Tim, that's good financial advice, regardless of what you're spending your money on. Hobby or not. actually having a tight grasp of where actually having a tight grasp of where your money is disappearing is absolutely essential.
Also, it helps by allocating resources, getting a hobby budget.
Yeah, again, we talked about it with removing that impulse expenditure thing. Plan every expenditure. Work out what your budget is. You know, if you've got something that you've got your eye on, say to yourself, "Oh, that's going to be 3 months worth of money or whatever." You know.
Yeah, break it down, and again, look at the value that's there. Is the other thing.
You make it a birthday gift or something like that.
That is a great idea. I am sure that there are loads of us who actually don't. We are out of the habit of actually using birthday and Christmas gifts for hobby-related materials, because often what we want is so specific or weird. There's absolutely no way a partner would actually get it.
Yeah. Also, you could just go and say, the biggest gift you can give me is a what do you call it?
Gift voucher.
A gift voucher for the local hobby store.
Yep.
Or even some dreaded online place.
Yep.
And this is one advice on saving money I usually don't like to give, but it's a pretty obvious one. Go shop online. If you really don't have the funds anymore. I know it's a stab in the back to your friendly local game store, but if the decision is to be made to not buy it or to buy it differently elsewhere, your shop isn't getting your money anyway.
Yeah. I mean, like Tim says, in an ideal world, it's the opposite advice. Support your local retailer above all. Yeah. But you know, when you're don't feel guilty about it. When you're short of money, your priorities have to come first.
Yeah, and also it doesn't need to be a binary decision to just buy online.
No.
Maybe just go for those things who have real great saving value. Let's say some army box is somewhere on sale with 30% off to your retail store and they absolutely can't match the price. Then go with it. But for every other hobby-related thing, maybe...
Yeah, you're saving like 30 quid on that bundle, but maybe pots of paint, you're only saving 20p. Just get the pots of paint from the store. Give them what business you can.
And also, if you're really in a pinch and you need only 1 or 2 pots of paint, most times shop will tear your arm off with the postage, so...
Yeah, that is very true, because paint, particularly, I don't know what it's like in Europe, but paint is a very odd thing to post in the UK. There are very strict rules about paint.
As long as it's not a rattle can, nobody gives a crap. They're water-based paints, so what could happen? I'm not sure if they fall under any rights for motorways when you're buying larger quantities that go by truckload, but... usually, as long as there's no rattle can in your order, there's no sticker on the box, nothing special.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, you very rarely see paint products on Amazon or whatever. Even Amazon, you very rarely see paint products with free postage. So I know there must be some reason that's a thing. So, we've covered quite a lot of things there, lads, haven't we?
Yeah, because you're one man stronger. This to say 33% increase in
productivity is up 33%.
The German efficiency.
Hopefully, the share price will be up 33%.
David, let's strike a deal here. You keep that German efficiency crap out of my ears, and I'll stop talking about Assassin's Creed.
No, don't stop ragging about Assassin's Creed. That's really funny. It makes my day every time. The podcast Paint All the Minis, Darren says, shut up.
Tim.
The podcast Paint All the Minis had a series of episodes on sustainable gaming.
Debunked so many times.
Talking about how much you're spending on hobby and games. Okay, that's really interesting, Darren. We'll have to probably check that out. Paint All the Mini podcast. Is that on like Spotify and other podcast platforms, or is it a YouTube one where they do like a video accompanied one?
I think that's a YouTube channel.
Okay.
But I'm not sure.
Play. This is what we said earlier.
The one with Ninja on?
That's Trapped Under Plastic.
Oh, okay. But as a quick side note, a thing that I've noticed and what really annoys me, most local stores, at least as far as I can see in this region, only carry 28mm systems.
Yeah. Which
is baffling. Simply because small-scale systems use way less shelf space. You could offer much more. Why don't you? With the exception of Battletech, obviously.
Where the models are just upscaled to match the underlying scale. I mean...
Yeah, Paul, the usual podcast prices, Paul.
Okay, that's cool. I'll check them out, Darren. Yeah.
I mean, again, spend some time going through your backlog, stick some YouTube or a podcast on in the background.
And keep away from sales, newsletters, and Kickstarter crowdfunding stuff.
Yeah,
stay far away from those.
Yeah, because, and again, do you know what? This is a great time because again, we've talked about Do Games Workshop.
Now you're going to tell us that you and David are making a Kickstarter with your own paint range.
You've got to be fucking kidding. There's enough paints on the market without us fucking wading in. No, what I was going to say was, we talked about, do Games Workshop really need your support when times are tough? Are there more deserving individuals? Another thing with that is, just as you're scrutinising each of your potential purchases, be more aware of how the company is treating you as a consumer in the context of this new reality. You know? Because again, it's probably not a very popular view, but if you're being treated like a fucking mug, do you really owe that company anything? You know?
Yeah, if again, release schedules. If somebody's fire hosing the shit out of the internet, probably don't need your money. And
again, Kickstarters can come into this with terms of FOMO. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Back it now or it's gone. Get it now or it's never again. It's like, well, that's all right. I'll leave it.
Can I just derail this again for a short minute?
Yeah, that's fine.
Bodifius is currently doing a Homeworld Kickstarter,
right?
As you might be aware of. And in the Kickstarter, they claim, okay, this is a Kickstarter exclusive, and maybe a dumbed down version is getting to retailers later. And that always sounded like, yeah, you'll get no minis. I got back after asking, from whoever is managing that account, there will be some minis in the retail packaging.
So
I'm good. I'm not going to spend a bazillion euros on a Kickstarter that may materialize somewhere next year or something.
Yep. No, I mean, again, I play Gloomhaven, Frosthaven with standees, and I'm perfectly happy with that. But I know what I'm playing the game for. And when they did the miniatures Kickstarter, which was like to produce miniatures to replace all of the standees in the two games, and it was like a pledge level of £560, something like that, I was like, do you know, I'm good. Thanks very much. I'm really good. But yeah. as I say, taking a step back and actually looking at what's being put in front of you, how it's being pitched to you, is never a bad thing, is it?
Again, if you're an impulse spender and you consume based on FOMO and newsletters and these kind of things, just cut them out. Unsubscribe from the newsletters.
Yeah.
Unsubscribe from newsletters. Don't get notified upon new stuff happening on Kickstarters.
No, that's a good point.
Just visiting a site like Beast of War or anything else once a day will give you ample opportunity to be hyped about something.
Yep. And again, we talked about vetting your subscriptions, whether they be Patreon, streaming, and that sort of thing. Even the free subscriptions, vet them as well. You know, if money is tight, do you really need a bunch of fucking FOMO shit, you know, tempting you to make an impulse purchase that is unwise and you shouldn't? Probably not.
The carrot dangling before your nose.
Yeah.
How are your Armada minis coming along, Ginge?
I shall put one on the old. To be fair, I shall put it on the old thing and switch to my cam. Do you know what?
Oh, technical difficulties incoming.
They're fiddly as hell to paint. I tell you, there's a lot of little details on this. Even though I'm basically doing a really simple color scheme, they're not. You know, they're not easy to do. They're going to need a lot of going back and cleaning. I'm not going to
insult you then and suggest that I've almost painted my dwarves.
Oh my god. Are you doing better than me, mate? I say, I've got 2 colours.
How many points is your faction?
Just bear with me a second. Right.
Technical difficulties. In 3, 2, 1, you're back in the room.
Well, no, I was just looking at this. For some reason, Video Ninja's picking up my audio.
Because you probably turned on the fucking audio settings.
Well, yeah, but it's never happened before. Oh, for fuck's sake. Cancel.
Tim called it.
He wasn't wrong.
To be fair, we had technical difficulties from minute 1 because the headset was off from David. From Paul, sorry.
Right. There we go. That's as much progress as I've got. We got red leather on most of the hull. Then there's chocolate brown on the darker woods. And then I'm just going in and adding gold details. Then I'm going to do probably some sort of beige dark sand or something on the sails. And then slather the lot in Agrax and see how it looks. And see whether we need any...
Are you dry brushing or are you...
I don't know yet. I don't know. I may not do either, mate. If I'm honest, I'll depend. I will assess how it looks at the end of the wash step. Everything is so small on these models.
Good. Are you doing much metallic detailing on them?
They've got a ton of gold. Absolute ton of gold on them. Because it's like I said, I'm essentially ripping off the Mantic paint scheme on them. So it's like a deep...
David, if you want to really annoy him, dip it.
Dip it? To be fair, these are too big. They won't even go in my dip pot now. I'll have to snap the sails off. Damn it. I suppose I could brush it on.
Dipping is not a technique.
Well, you say that.
That's not a technique. Next thing you'll just tell us is that slap chop is not a technique.
No, a slap chop, just not fucking dipping.
Duncan says dipping's fine. I saw a video by Dunk. He says it's fine.
Duncan also has a range of paints called Two Thin Coats.
Yes.
Just saying.
What are you saying?
I can't say slap chop without having a tiny little Jerry in my head going, I hook a bit your tongue off.
Yeah. Yep.
Thanks, Jerry.
Yeah. Fucking... that voice in your head. In your head.
In your head. Zombie. Zombie. Zombie.
Zombie attack. Do.
This has been a quiet stream for me because I've not even had any music on in the background.
No.
Oh. Well, you are listening to the dulcet tones of a sad...
The Dutch tones.
Dutch?
Well, it's 1:45, guys. I'm amazed that I've managed to stay this long because I am feeling like death warmed up. But thank you very much for coming on, Tim.
You're going to have a very nice long sleep and wake up the same time tomorrow.
Well, to be fair, I can have a lie-in because I'm on a night shift tomorrow, 3 till 11. So, to be fair, that's
have you considered calling in sick?
Well, I'm just saying that they don't put medals on your coffin, so that may be a thing that has to happen, depending on how ill I am. I'm one of these sort of people. At the
start of the stream, you really sounded and looked terrible, mate.
I mean, I'm one of these sort of people. I do hate being off sick because I get massive guilt for the people that I'm letting down. Again, because of my job, which is a pharmacist. If I don't turn in for work, the pharmacy doesn't open and trade. So
yeah, but do you let them down for one day, or when you're really getting sick and have to lay down for a week?
No, I didn't say it was rational, mate. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know that's not, but that's a thing you need to hear again and again to make it into your brain.
Yeah.
Into your noggins.
I'm gonna go to my camera in a second, mate.
Okay.
Just bear with. I'm just touching up the last of this.
I do apologise if earlier in the stream I was getting some bizarre echo because, as I say, I'm guessing that my Video Ninja was probably online the whole time. I tell you what, you've got a very positive effect on the old hobby productivity, Tim, because I've got way more done than I normally get done chewing the fat. It's great to have a third person to share the talking burden so you can keep your hands moving. That's what she said.
Yeah, that's why I'm so happy to have Jerry to have him ping the links
there you go.
in chat.
So David's ding ding.
What's he showing?
Oh, to be fair, that red looks very good, mate. Nice. Have you got the grey on the rock yet?
No, I haven't. This one hasn't got rock on it.
Oh, that one's just metallics. Okay, that's fine. I was going to say, I couldn't see a texture change.
I'm still very annoyed about the fact that I can't see shit until 10 minutes later.
Put this rock at the top in red, I think.
Okay.
Just to keep the roofing consistent with them all.
Okay.
And then this one doesn't really have a roof, so I don't really know where to slap the red on, whether to slap it up here and go over the bronze that I didn't on the front. I'm not quite sure.
You'll find
chimneys red.
You should. Yeah, it does look very good. Thanks very much, Darren.
Cheers, Darren.
Darren has 10 Frostgrave Snake Men now covered in golden armour.
But no, these are painting exceptionally well, and I'm also glad that all of these will fit in a Chinese container with no risk of damage to any others. Because
if you do something like crazy, like put a lid on it.
Dwarves and no sails.
That is true.
Stop mentioning food.
They are. They're going to be dead easy to store. Yeah, that is a fair point, sir.
I've already looked at how much extra I need to spend to buy everything.
Now you see, that's
and this,
not...
boys and girls, is what you not do.
Yeah, this is how not to do it.
Don't do it, David.
Before you've even played any games with your core miniatures, go out and buy everything in the dog for it.
Yeah.
Fucking
I need to own some more dwarves.
Well, buy some dwarves for a fucking different game then. Don't just buy more of that.
Yeah, almost sound like Ben. Oh, dwarves. Nom nom nom.
More dwarves is better. More dwarves for this is going to be even better. Because the plan this week, boys and girls. I don't know if Paul has spoken about it. Is on Monday. It will be dwarves versus salamanders playing Armada, and with full wind rules as well.
Yes.
So we will see how
one of the
goes.
few races, I only have very little contingent.
What, for Armada?
No, for any game.
Oh, for any
whatsoever.
game. Yeah, so to be fair, they're not something I own. I've got my Forge Fathers, but I don't really have a fantasy dwarf army.
Well, I've got.
I've got the Battle for the Plas starter set.
Notes, and that's it.
Do you want to come off my Campbell?
Yeah, can do, mate. Just paint some gold on this cannon.
Sorry, I was late, boys and girls.
That's all right. I mean, to be fair, I'm amazed you made it at all. I thought, that's it. He's fallen asleep. We'll not see him for fucking...
I'm not getting up again.
Yeah, I was going to say, he'll wake up at like 9:30. I'll have jacked it in because I'll be burned out and ill. And it'll be like, where's the stream? Sugar.
The wrong day of the week.
Don't. I thought it was Friday at work today.
Oh, that's the worst.
Tim called it. That's funny.
I thought it was Friday at work today. I was like, oh, have a good weekend, boys. And they were like, no, it's Thursday, David. You've got to come in tomorrow. Oh, fuck.
It's like that meme from Captain Haddock. Oh, what a week. It's Wednesday, Captain.
Yeah, I mean, that has been, unfortunately, my week at work this week. Everything that can and will go wrong. So that is why I thought it was Friday, because I was like, I was done with this shit on Tuesday.
Energy levels depleted. Goodbye.
Yeah. All reserves gone.
I'm going to my recharging station now. Have a good one. You're off to the pub. My recharging station.
I've got an all-metal Warhammer Dwarf army, got some classic old hammer models in there. No elves, though. I need to get some elves.
Who's that, Darren?
Yeah. The Mantic elves look awesome.
To be fair, I'm not that familiar with the Mantic models for the stuff that's not unique to Mantic, because I've never really had to look at it. The only thing I do like is the dwarves, the badgers, cavalry.
See, I'm not sold on the dwarves riding badgers.
Oh, I am.
Because fuck me, there are some big badgers, and fuck me, they've got TB.
Well, and?
What?
Well, yeah, they're badgers, obviously. It's well known that badgers carry TB. It's just like a thing. Isn't it? You loon. You say it like it's a bad thing.
Well, it is if you're a farmer and you're farming cattle.
Yeah, fucking whiner.
I'm done for the day.
Tim's burnt.
Thank you, Tim. I was going to say we are not long.
Cheers.
Before we jack it in.
Hold your horses, for God's sake. Let an old man find his words. I was merely saying I'm done painting.
Oh, right, okay.
Because I found a point where to jump off is actually a viable option. I'm not leaving you too unattended here.
No, God, he's our chaperone.
Parental supervision is probably closer.
Jerry told me to have an eye on you.
Just an eye, or...?
That doesn't surprise me.
I spy with my little eye.
Two lads from Lincolnshire chatting shit.
I mean...
Talking gobshite.
What do you think about the next 12 months for you, Tim, and your hobby? Are you anxious about it? Have you got a plan? Have you thought about all the stuff that we've already talked about? Or are you just winging it?
The cunning plan, my lord. Cunning as a fox. Actually, yeah, I have last year started with a hobby budget. I'm sticking to that, and I'm not starting any new gaming systems.
Yep.
So I'm sticking with whatever comes around for my two factions on Legion. And let's put it that way. Depending on how the Kickstarter for Battletech is going to develop, there might be some more Battletech.
Okay. So what is that Kickstarter running currently, or is it soon to be launched?
It'll be live when they start at Adepticon, I think was the plan.
Okay.
Battletech mercenaries, so potentially a bucket load of mechs.
Okay, so more miniatures, basically.
Yeah, and paint all the shit that's sitting around here.
Is that planned? Go on.
I have over 60 projects open on OTT. I need to close some of them.
Fucking hell, mate, that's a lot.
That's way too many.
Yeah, to be fair, I tend not to go to OTT until I've literally got a milestone to report, so I don't sort of like keep tons of projects open and active at once.
Or I open OTT, open some projects, put some stuff on there, and then abandon them for 3 months before I go back to them and go, oh, actually, it's been a while. I printed some more shit, was like my last update on Gaslands, and I'm like, oh, I won't leave it too long before updating you all again. Nope.
To be fair, it is nice to do that for the community and to put projects up, but it's not an inconsiderable amount of work to, plan it all, photograph it, get it all up there, because the front end isn't the most usable. Has your plan for 20...
I'm taking pictures all the time, so...
Are you? I'm terrible. I don't even take pictures of my games normally. I just get so wrapped up in the game, and then when we finish, I'm like, shit, I should have photographed that table. That looked great.
You know what you can do? Set up a tripod and a video camera and just let that roll.
Yeah, we've tried that. We've done some filming. Just having video running. To be fair, I may have some battle reports that I can put on the project system that will be like a mishmash of video without audio, and then maps from that battle thing that Jerry likes, where you can literally do that the old style Games Workshop battle reports.
With battle reports with the Battle Chronicler.
Battle Chronicler, that's it. Because I think that would be a great accompaniment. So you can sort of like show all the labelled minis. We've got Infinity games that we videoed. I think there's Gaslands we videoed. AOS we videoed. I've still got all the raw footage on my PC. It's just like so many things to do. Has your plan changed much for 2023 in the last year or so then, or has it always been? I mean, when did you make a plan, Tim?
The hobby budget went into effect at the same time last year, just a few months before everything went to shit.
Right.
And since then, I'm just adjusting slowly.
Okay. The wife is getting annoyed, Crispin. Why? Because you're taking up. Yeah.
Because he stopped constructing.
Fucking hell! I was going to say if you
Knucklebuster tackles holder.
Yeah, if you stop making pieces of terrain that you can house a family of 6 in, then maybe you won't piss your missus off. Jesus Christ! I mean, you're all right if you get made homeless. You can just move in. Fucking hell, mate.
I mean, what about 3D printing homes is a thing.
Yeah. Oh God! Don't set David off. Jesus Christ. What about you, David?
Like you've already touched on earlier this evening, I'm trying to keep my powder as dry as possible.
Yeah.
Before UKGE, I admittedly did splurge at the weekend and pre-ordered.
No, we don't want to know about that. But did you buy anything?
No, fucking child. Pre-ordered Warcry, but I just like I said to you, I'm on the fence about bits and pieces. And this is actually a set that I quite like the look of. And knowing GW, it was going to be a complete and utter car crash, like Soul Shackle.
Yeah.
Luckily, that wasn't the case on Warcry, but I wasn't to know.
No, that's fair.
So I've gone with London Grey for
your dwarves
side of the ships. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. That's a good mid-tone.
Probably a wash of Nuln Oil.
Yeah, that's right.
Down.
Because it needs to be high enough to show the shadows. Because if you go too dark, you'll just never see it.
Well, the other thing is, I'm going to probably wash them twice, so I'm going to stipple on some. Obviously, wash them with Nuln, wait for that to dry. And then go in with some Athonian Camache to do like the mossy effect that
that Tim said. To be fair, stippling was what I was considering, particularly for weathering, because I know I'm going to have to stipple the sea to get that look. The colour variants.
You also need some, what's it called? Oh yeah, for the undertone.
The silicone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got plenty of that.
The clear stuff.
Yeah. I mean, as I say, I think my plans changed. I've given it some concrete thought, probably because of like us working together as a pair. I've given it a lot of thought since January. When Christmas was out of the way and the dust started to settle, I think it was at that point, like you say, and for me, it's just trying to be super critical about what I buy and asking myself, do I already own stuff that I'm doing nothing with? I mean, again, this is a Christmas present. This is pretty much an unprecedented event where I'm getting paint on a Christmas present within a couple of months of receiving it. I mean, I'm sure you guys are probably similar to me.
Counterpoint, I'm painting last year's Christmas present from you right now.
There you go. And that's more normal, isn't it?
Yeah.
For us. And I'm sure for most people in the hobby, it just gets put on the pile and you just don't...
I'm just going to rib you now for Silver Bayonet.
Yeah, that's perfectly fair, mate. I do not have a single miniature assembled for it. The book here remains unopened and unused.
Maybe that's a thing you can make for your sabbatical hobby here. Just take everything you own, make an inventory, see what you actually have, so that you don't end up like some guy we know who has 43 copies of the same miniature in his attic.
Fucking hell. I mean, I must confess that I have had situations in the last 12 months where I've literally found stuff and thought, I didn't even know I owned this. And it has actually knocked me because I've thought, this is ridiculous. It's fair enough to have all this shit, but when you don't even know what you've got, it's pretty bad. And I feel bad.
I can one up you on that even. Today I got these little reminders from Facebook. 1 year ago you did this.
Yeah.
And it showed me painted miniatures for Star Wars Legion, and I was, do I have those? And then I started thinking, bloody hell, where did I put them?
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, no. I mean, it's like we're talking about painting competition for our club. My wife bought me the Orruk Death Cabbage thing model years ago when it first launched.
Oh, you had that before you went to Scotland.
Yeah,
when I first started my Ironjaws army, you had that.
Just because it was a cool looking model and she wanted me to paint it so we could put it on display. Never painted it. And I thought, I could get that done for painting competition this month. Yeah, that's fine in theory, Paul, but you got to find it. And then you got to find the Orruk. You got to find the Orruk that sits on it. And then you've got to find the base that's the size of Iceland that it sits on.
But don't worry too much about the base the size of Iceland, because worst case scenario, I'll print you one.
Yeah, or we can just have it freestanding. But yeah, and again, I consider myself quite organised in terms of my hobby storage.
You don't just have things thrown in. At least your paints are
stored properly.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck off, Tim.
Oh dear. Right. Well, look, guys, we've overrun by a few minutes. I need to go and die in a corner because I'm absolutely cream crackered. Thank you very much for Tim. Yeah, you can swear, mate. You don't have to just do it in silent mode. Fuck off. Go on. Take your fucking swear words and fuck off. So yeah, thanks very much to David. And thank you very much to you guys in chat. If you can find time to do only one thing for us, please click the like button. If you can do the other stuff that's listed on screen, then that's great as well. But a like is fantastic. And I guess we'll see you all next week.
Ciao.